What is going on, guys? It's your boy here again, Dean, and by the time this video is up, patch might have already launched. That's right, we have decks for every class for Infinity Involved, or whatever it's called. Been hard at work making my day one brews. I should be trying to stream it. I went to sleep early. We're awake now. It's 2 a.m. when I'm recording this. And, yeah, I got work in the morning. But you know what? I'm going to go live. I'm going to try to play some of these decks. And starting off, we're going to be talking about Artifact Portal. It got a lot of powerful cards. Not just the Karul that people have heard about, but we also got some new cards announced today. So I'm going to do the card by card, show you guys the deck, and really talk about why I think this is the best. This, honestly, day one, Artifact Portal is looking the strongest, which is good because you should already have the cards, and your additions is, there's a single legendary. So I hope you have saved about 10,000 vials is roughly what you need. Let's get into the card by card. Boom. Playing the Artifact Recharge as a 3-of. It adds 2 different artifact generators to our hand. That part's important. New card, Flight of Icarus. This is the important card. So we get a artifact follower in our hand and give it rush and last words draw a card. What's important about this is it combos with all of our cards like Alouette, Karula, all of our cards that summon copies of artifacts, including Doomwright. Guess what? Boom, we get card draw off of those because they summon exact copies, which means they copy these last words. Honestly, this is fucking insane. This is the most insane thing I've ever seen. So yeah, Flight of Icarus. Also, I love Icarus. This is one of my favorite. I really loved her in the original Shadowverse. We're not playing the other 1-drop because we need to make room for our good cards. So putting the 1-drop 1/1 in our deck doesn't really do anything for us. We have 3 Ironheart Hunters. We're just gonna be going 3 across the line on every card. For obvious reasons, it creates 2 gears, so that's why this card's broken. And then we're playing Carnella. This is the new card that we have. 2 mana, 2/2. Fanfare. Add a Gear of Remembrance to our hand, so gear generator. But also on Evolve, we select an artifact follower in our hand and give it Ward and can't be destroyed by abilities. That means it lives through the Doomwright. You know, are we going to be giving can't be destroyed by abilities? We could even give it to the Gundam if we need to. So that the Gundam not only is Aura, it's a 10/10. It also can't be destroyed by Bane. Gundam is actually invincible if we need it to be. Alternatively, we can, you know, give it to the 4/4, making sure the 4/4 lives, or give it to the 3/5. Give it to anything. Just give it to any card. That's what's important. You give any artifact in your hand, and you're going to be resummoning copies of it over and over and over again. It's going to be annoying as hell for your opponent. Healing one. Depends on the matchup, right? Once again, the important thing is with the artifact deck, you have flexibility. Of course, this thing's removal, and it adds a gear to our hand. Broken. New card, Artifact Catapult. 2 mana Amulet. Fanfare. Add a Gear of Ambition. So we get a gear to our hand. And we can tap it for 3. And we destroy it. And select an select an artifact follower in our hand that costs 5 or less. Summon an exact copy of it and give it the exact copy at the end of your opponent's turn. So it's a Doomwright, but for a card, for a delayed 5. And once again, the important part is, what is this? We put this out on 2 whenever we have like mana that we can like mix in. Boom, we put down the Artifact Catapult, and then we're gonna be able to crack it for our broken card that gives us draw that's indestructible, so the actual downside doesn't matter. Very powerful card. More generators, more duplicators. It's not just all about the Carnilla now. We've got the Doomwrights, we've got everything else, right? So it's not just all about the Alouette. 3 Miriam adds 2 gears to our hand, adds 4 gears to our hand if we evolve it. Broken. Bullet, 2 gears. Broken. That's really how simple it is. I mean, come on. We've been playing ladder. We've been playing ladder. This ain't your first show. Duplicate an artifact in your hand. Broken, especially with all of our new support. Doomwright. Guess what? The only problem with Doomwright before, it was actually a really good card. The only problem was your opponent goes, oh, my opponent technically doesn't have a board. I can do whatever I want. Now, not going to be so. You're going to give a card in your hand indestructible. You're going to Doomwright. Not only will you have the push from that, but you knows maybe like one of your cards will draw. One of them is going to be indestructible by effects. Can't just Bane straight through it. Sylvia's are one of, because if you do 3 times 13, that's 39. So that we need a 40 card deck, you know. It's okay. Heals or draws, gives a little modularity. Guess what, though? We got a ton of burn, and we have so many gear generators. Our hand's going to be full. I don't think we really need these, but it is a little nice, you know, pop. Remove some things if we need to with the Evolves or the Super Evolve. Karula, new card. This is the important part. 6 mana, 5/4. Fanfare. Select an select an artifact follower in your hand that costs 5 or less and summon an exact copy of it. And on Super Evolve, he can attack twice per turn. What's annoying about him? Well, you summon like a 3/5 AoE the board for 3 that's indestructible and has ward, and then he's sitting there in the back. The nice thing is if you go first. The annoying thing is that you don't get your Super Evolve until turn 7. I know, that's crazy, isn't it? So now going first, you can like completely curve out across the board, and you have like an okay turn 6. Instead of normally you would have to play like a 5-mana card, and then also something else. Now we have the 6-mana card that puts up a little bit of a threat for your full mana cost. You're not having to weave in random stuff in between. And yeah, it's just like another card too. It's just summoning multiple bodies on the board. Fatiguing out your opponent was you're just like, you just keep summoning the guy. You just keep summoning the guy, you keep getting the draw. It's going to be broken. I'm thinking this was going to overperform. 3 Orcus. I mean, we've been playing ladder, right? This is the best card. This card's insane. It's a house by itself, so we're going to play it as our top end. And then, of course, 3 Ralmia, the Sonic Booms. You know, if our cards are already indestructible, they're getting ward, they're 3/5s or 4/4s. I mean, this thing is just... Ralmia is a good card. I hope you've crafted 3 of it by now. But that's enough about Portal. We're going to be going on the next deck. We have Forest, and Guys, I don't know. You know, Forest, you got some new cards. I don't know how good a lot of them are. I'm going to be doing the card by card. We're going to be talking about the new stuff, because at the end of the day, I think that Roach is still the way. There is a Fairy deck. The Fairy deck might also be good, where you like try to Aria, and I'll talk about that. And I have like a little Japanese version of that I want to talk about. But I couldn't find a list that I liked. And honestly, Roaches, I mean, look at this thing. 18,000 vials, bro. This is the deck. This is the deck. A lot of budget players out there. Get good. I'm just going to say it. Get good at Roach. It will pay its dividends. It is one of the best decks, and it is one of the best things you could be playing, probably. New cards. I have a one-of Twin Blade Goblin. This is Fanfare. If there's a Super Evolved Allied follower on the field, select an enemy follower on the field and deal 4 damage. Why do we like this card? Because we're going to have Carbuncle lines in the late game, and I believe that Haven is a very powerful deck. And so this is going to be like multiple snipes on like key wards, because like the Wilbur deck's going to be summoning a bunch of big boards. They're going to have a bunch of health on cards. You're going to need this. You're going to need the Maze. You're going to need everything. And this is just like your 4th copy of May that you're going to be saving in the tank for the late game to be slamming down to help clear the board alongside the Bales when the time comes. That's really what he's there for. He's just like a 4th May. Of course, May, boom, combo 3, select an enemy follower in the field, deal 3 damage. We're going to be able to remove the wards. Good tempo card. 3 Good Fairy of the Pond. Combo 1 adds a combo to our hand for later in the game. Of course, this card is good. 3 Bug Alert, bounces a card back to hand. I mean, you know, it sets up all of our plays. 1 mana, boom, also a combo generator. Fairy Convocation, you know, we're getting the 1-drop fairies, obviously. I mean, these are all like standard Roach cards. Ambush from Above, new card. 1 mana, do this 1 time. Deal 2 damage to a random enemy follower. No longer are you getting aggroed out by garbage like you used to. Honestly, I almost want 3 of this card. But I guess it's the same as a Bug Alert. I don't know, though. Do you think you should have... Bug Alert's sometimes awkward. Do you think that maybe you should have 3 of this... And then, like, because, like, this stops early aggro. That's the important part, is you can stop early aggro with this. Combo 3, do it 2 times instead. So, for 1 mana, you're pinging 2 things on the board for 2. It is random, so a little bit awkward. And, you know, it can hit the same target. That's the important part. So, it can go 4, because it says do it 2 times. So, 2 times you're hitting a random thing. This is going to be a hard card to use, but it is going to be nice for the early game aggro, and then hopefully it can help clean up boards. Like you can use it at the end of a combo to be able to help clean up the like last remnants of a board in the late game. I don't know if we want 3 of this and then maybe like 2 Bug Alerts. Really hard to say. Fairy Tamer, we've got 3 of it. It adds fairies to our hand. Broken. Carbuncle. I think people have seen this card is the truth. That this thing puts the thing back in our hand, gives us 3 mana back on Super Evolve. There's a new card that summons it, but that's kind of meme. We've got 2 That's right. I went down to 2 lilies. I need to make some space for some of these cards. This card, I think, has been an underperformer for me just because of, like, how many cards you have to weave in. And then you're trying to get your Lambents down. You're trying to get your other cards down. So, like, where do you put this in? And then in most games, you have enough hand that this card... I felt fine putting it 2 because it honestly didn't feel like I needed 3 of it before. So that's the real reason. Is I just never felt like... I felt like this was the underperformer in the old deck. Garden's Allure, 2 mana... This new card. Fuse Forestcraft cards. Oh, thank God. So what does this mean? We can take any Forestcraft card in our hand and just make it disappear. So this is good hand management. More than anything else. It draws a card. If you fuse to this card, you draw 2 instead. No longer do you go, holy shit, I have 3 of my Godwood Staff. You can just go, okay, well, you know, I only need 1. I only need 1 Godwood Staff. It's kind of terrible to have a second. I mean, like, maybe you can put down a second one, but right, but like third is a little much, right? Or you got the Glade guy that like AoE's the board. You want Glade in your deck, but do you want 3 in your hand, right? And so now we have a way to reduce our hand size and then cash in on it later, or just remove cards from our hand, remove duplicates that we don't need, so that way we're not burning the roaches, and we're not having to, like, overextend and put down fairies that we don't need to, you know, because sometimes you're just like, damn, I need to get a card out of my hand. We're putting down the May. You put down the May, boom, suddenly you don't have a good enough hand. Garden's Alert fixes a lot of those problems. I think this needs to be in every list, and honestly, that's why I didn't want to send a fairy list, is because, like, the fairy lists I saw weren't playing this, and I think this is something you're going to need if you decide to build fairies, which is going to be far more expensive. You need the Titanias. You need all of the new cards as like 3-ofs, right? In the fairy deck. And then you're going to have like all of these Arias, and they're going to be in your hand. And there's some of these cards, they're late game bombs. And if you see multiples, it's like they're not good because they're like one-off leader effects. But you need to see them early, so you have to play them as a 3-of. This card is going to fix that problem. It's going to help you keep your hand size down. It's going to help you... just the card's actually great for the hand management. It's a great card. You're going to be wanting this. Now I got off that tirade. We're playing 3 Lambent because card's broken. I mean, obviously adds a 0 mana card to your hand, makes the roach math easier. Boom, boom, boom. Godwood Staff, 3 of it. Obviously 3 Glades. Obviously wide removal on 5. Build our hand back up. New card, Lamaga, Untamed Wild, 7 mana, 7/7. We're gonna have a set review out, by the way. By the end of today. But yeah, that's beside this part. 7 mana, 7/7 fanfare. Select 2 enemy followers on the field and give them can't attack followers or leaders until the end of your opponent's turn. So we're going to be able to lock down 2 things on our opponent's board. And on Super Evolve, we select 2 enemy followers on the field and give them at the end of each turn. So that's both your turn and your opponent's turn. Deal 1 damage to your leader and 2 damage to this follower. What does this mean? It means we're going to be able to lock down 2 zones, hopefully preventing our opponent from killing us for 1 turn. It's kind of like the Crystalia card. But also, we're going to be able to get in 4 face damage for the single Super Evolve. Maybe 5 if we get to swing with it. And we are going to be able to ping a card for 4. So it's going to be able to soften up wards. Like maybe they've got a big Aether board. Boom, you target down the 2 biggest... the Aether board does have aura, doesn't it? That's insane. That's insane. The Aether board does have aura. Maybe you're able to ping down a board that is threatening lethal. You're able to put them off of lethal. You're able to push 5 damage. Lamaga seems like a pretty good stall card. We're playing 2 of it because I do think that we want to have it as part of our bridge. Turn 8's a lot easier to OTK on than turn 7 is, obviously, because you get a little bit more. And then if you get double ping, if you get like ping 4, that's an entire 2 less cards you have to play. So not only do you go up an extra turn because you managed to stall out, but also you need to play 2 less cards because you got the ping in. Really good card. Definitely worth your vials. It's the only legendary in the deck. And then 3 Bale. I mean, we know the card's broken. It costs 0. That's really what it is. 0 mana cards are good in Roach. Excuse this for being in Japanese. This was like one of the lists I saw of the new cards. We have like Google Translate. We got like Amataz in the fairy deck, and we've got this Roach because at the end of the day, the Roach is still going to be part of the combo. I don't know if you actually want to play 3 though, especially with the way the deck is. But we have cards like this, like when a card super evolves, this becomes a 1 mana 2/2. Fanfare, we get a fairy to our hand. Is that good? Is that good? It has to be in your hand. I don't think that card's good. Cynthia says we get 2 fairies onto the field on Fanfare, 4 mana, 4/3. When evolved, all fairy followers on your field get +1/+0, which is only the fairies, obviously. So you're supposed to play this after you've played the Aria. And see, like, the thing is like, we're on, like, 1 Glade. We got this random Odin, like, nothing against this deck specifically, but, like, the problem is it's going to be, like, we need the Titanias, we need those, we need the Amatazes to be able to buff them. I'm going to have to see, like, where the fairy deck goes. I think this one was pretty bad. But I think that the fairy deck, the big takeaways, you're going to need, like, Amatazes, you're going to need Arias, you're going to need Titanias. And the fairy deck, even the bad list, are going to be like 30, 40,000 vials. And do you want to spend 40,000 vials when the best deck is 18? I don't know. Probably not. Next up is we have Swordcraft. This is my own little personal homebrew. I'm going to be playing this on stream to begin with. This is going to be Rally Control Sword. Gonna have to play with the ratios. We're going to go do the card by card and really talk about it. First up, Ignominious Samurai. Removal at all stages of the game. Really broken, especially in a control deck, which is what I'm trying to do. Even though we don't have a lot of heal, we have a lot of wards. So it's going to be like one of those fatigue decks. But hopefully we can kill people faster than the old deck. 3 Luminous Lance Trooper, right? We get Rush on a 1/1. And then we get Threaten that our officers will kill their board forever. The big Rush is the big thing. So I think that she's still worth playing. We'll have to see. And also, it's 2 bodies, so it's Rally 2. New card is Seiryotennan Gunslinger Maid. I think this card might have some merit. Fanfare, deal 1 damage to 2 random enemy followers. It can't double up on the same one, but this is definitely nice because we have 2 1s in the format. You know, not only within Sword, which has like 1/1s, but I think like Abyss has some, which no one's gonna be playing it. Maybe you're able to soften up some board, and then we do have a new card that destroys like damage followers, so you know we're gonna be able to like play this thing down, have our card with Rush, have this thing evolve, be able to clear up 2 things for like 1 evolve. It's kind of like a build your own Fildao, with like medium amounts of removal and the aggressive stat line in the early game. New card, Band of Battle Princess. I think this card reads pretty good. Deal 4 damage to a random enemy follower and enhance 4. Deal damage to 3 random enemy followers instead. So for 4 mana, we're able to deal up to, was that like 12 damage? So, I mean, cleaning up a Kuon board can like help you get almost there right by itself, because by the time it's 7, you have this plus the 3 drop that we have as the new card. So that should be able to like clear up the full board. There's just like Aether can summon a bunch of cards and they all have hexproof, and you're not targeting with the enhance because it is random. I don't know. The Band of Battle Princesses reads pretty good to me. I personally am a fan. I think that it can have a spot in Control Sword. So we'll have to see. New card, Grimnir Heavenly Gale. 3 mana, 2/3. We get the Crest, which is at the end of our turn, if there's a super evolved allied follower on the field, deal 2 damage to all enemy followers. This is going to be board wipe as long as they have a super evolved follower, which you might be thinking, oh, that only activates twice. No, it doesn't. Our deck is broken. Our deck is actually broken. We're going to be super evolving multiple times throughout the game, and hopefully this is going to be getting us there. And it has ward. It's a 3 mana, 2/3 ward. We're playing 2. I think we're going to have to mulligan for it. We might have to go to 3. The important part is that we get it down before turn like 6 or 7. We have 3 the Luminous Potion, right? We get to heal whenever a card enters. It's a officer. So whenever one of our tokens enters play, boom, getting some healing. It's going to be part of our control deck, and it's 2 bodies on 1 card. The Hound of War, removal. Rally 3 for 6. Scales up pretty well. That's really how easy it is. Rose Princess Knight, new card, 3 mana, 3/2. Enhance 5, we draw a Swordcraft follower that costs 2 or less and set its cost to 0. Hopefully, look at that. We only play, I mean, all of the cards that we have deal damage in some way, whether it be the Gunner Maid, the Ignominious, or the Luminous. And then it has Rush and Follower Strike. If the opposing follower is damaged, destroy it. Okay, so whatever we add, we're going to be able to remove something on the board, potentially more. And then it always has like the rush 3/2, right? So, and if the follower strike happens, we don't take damage, so our card will get to live. Seems pretty good. Zirconia, Iron Crown Ward. I mean, buffs our board, summons 3 things. Is this the best card? I think it is. I think it ends games. That's the big thing. I think this card ends games, builds up boards early. If like a couple things stick, it's just good. It's Rally 3 for 4. Luminous Mage, 5 mana, 1/3, fanfare. Summon 3 copies of Steelclad Knight. Obviously broken. 4 cards on 1 body. It's going to be helping us get to our rally count because we do have a rally card. Amelia, Silver Captain. Draw 2 Swordcraft followers, recover 3 play points. I know some people took this out. Since we're in control, since I'm trying to build a control deck, you can use this plus like other cards, and like in the late game this becomes crazy. In the early game this like keeps our like hand up, and then we can combo with other cards. When we get our 3 mana back, I mean obviously we can play down like a Grimnir or this thing or just anything. Just in general, I think this is a good card, and it's going to keep our hand up. It's going to help keep our deck consistent. New card, Gildaria, Anathema of Peace. 6 mana, 4/4. Fanfare, Rally 20. Super Evolve this follower. That's right, we're going to be proccing the Grimnir, AoEing the board for 2, up to 5 times a game with this broken card. And it costs 6, which means on turn 9, you can do Amelia into Gildaria, double Super Evo. Bury your entire board. Whenever another allied follower enters the field, deal 1 damage to all enemy followers. So not only is it doing the 2 at the end of turn, but also when it's this card evolves, summon 2 Steelclad Knights and give them rush. So this card comes down. You summon 2 Knights, AoE the board for 2. Then, end of turn, Grimnir procs, AoE the board for 2 again. So we're going to be able to ping the board for up to 4 damage in the single turn and end on a board of like a bunch of not wards, but like just cards. We're not really protecting our face, so Face Dragon might still just kill us. We have Gino, the 11X Raider, 7 mana, 7/6. You know, he gets to clear 2 things and summon a bunch of knights. Rally 3 for 7 while also clearing 2 big wards. That's really why he's in there. This card, I don't know about. I don't know about this one. We've got 2 Amalia Lucksteel Paladins. It is just summon 4 guys and wait. And then every time an allied follower enters the field, give it +1/+0, rush, and ward. I mean, once your opponent's out of Super Evo, this card's pretty good. The Knights do line up very poorly into a lot of the artifact portal stuff, but Amalia, you know, she's behind all of the wards, so she should be able to live. This is the card I'm the most iffy about, but you know what card I'm not iffy about is the new card, Urias, 11 Authority. 8 mana, 5/7. Fanfare, summon 2 enemy copies of Knights. So you put 2 cards on your opponent's board. Guess what? Those cards are awful. They're 1 mana, 1/1s. And whenever an enemy follower enters the field, give it can't attack followers or leaders until the end of your opponent's turn. So not only do you put 2 1/1s on their board that are terrible, off trait, everything, this is a floodgate. This is Mystic Mine at home, or is it Vengeful Bog Spirit from Yu-Gi-Oh! And then at the end of your opponent's turn, deal 1, or sorry, until so gets the effect. It can't attack followers or leaders. So your card is just on the board, and you give them 2 of them. And then also, when a card comes into play, it gains the effect. Deal 1 damage to the enemy leader and restore 1 defense to. Oh, wait, sorry. That's his effect. Reading impaired. I'm sorry. So yeah, they can't attack, and then you deal 1 damage to the enemy leader and restore 1 defense to your leader when a card enters your opponent's board. Okay, so it's like the old Urias that was a 2 mana card. That was a card that was really fucked up, by the way. So yeah, you summon 2, heal 2, deal 2, board lock 2, broken. It's Ojama Knight. Is that the card? Yeah, Ojama Knight. That's the card. This is a card I think will be very annoying for people to deal with. It will stop Roach OTK completely. I guess it doesn't actually stop Roach OTK at all. If you give this card Barrier, maybe it does. Because they just go bail, and then like the Roach comes down anyway, right? No, because you have the 2 Knights. Oh, that's diabolical, isn't it? Oh, that's awful. I guess if he's your only card on board, He's 7, dude. He's unkillable, dude. This Urias card, he's the anti-roach card. I don't think there's a good way to deal with this, especially because of the 2 knights clogging the board. Even with the bug alert, very annoying for Forest. I'm excited to try it. I don't like the aggro game plan, so that's it. But, oh, do you like aggro? We got this Dragoncraft deck. Maybe I should have tried to make it cheaper. I'm really sorry, guys. This is probably the worst deck I'm going to be showing you all night. But let's get into it. The card by card. New card, Soaring Ivory Dragon. Fanfare, if you're an overflow, draw a card. And it's a 1 mana, 1/1 rush. Little bit of removal, little bit of aggro. And you know what? Little bit of draw. That's the important part. The new card, Fan of Otohime, 1 mana. Obviously, this card's fucking... Dude, we're playing Face Dragon. We're trying to push our opponent's shit in. Yeah, this is the deck you slam into ladder and try to get, like, 5-turn games. But we have a new card, Pyre Worm Blade. 1 mana amulet. Here's the big thing. Engage. 1 mana. Destroy this card, select an allied follower on the field, and give it +1/+1, and last words, summon a Pyre Worm Blade. You get to tick up a card, and then, when the card dies, if it does die, guess what? Boom! Your field buff is still there. So you're going to be able to, like, your Otohimes can hit for big damage. That's the important part. Kill your opponent with the big damage from the Pyre Worm Blade. Obviously, to go with the Pyre Worm Blade, we're playing triple Little Dragon Nanny. Why? Because we get a card with Intimidate. Cards with Intimidate, we're playing field buffs that are recurring instead of just playing like the one that like slams down on a card. If something lives, boom. Also, new card, Intent Dragon Newt Princess. 2 mana, 2/2. Normal stat line. Fanfare, if we have a super evolved allied follower, draw 2. So if we're like later on in the game, we discard a card with Otohime. Boom, slam down these, draw back up, get a big board on top of the Otohime ward. Is it stupid? Was it stupid? Yeah, it is. It is. I don't know if this is the right play. It's draw on a body. So, I mean, you're playing Face Dragon. You're giving Storm to, like, some pretty terrible cards. Filene, 2 mana, 2/2. What's important? Fanfare, if you're an overflow, add a White Frost Whisper to your hand as Bane. Bane is annoying. We can trade up. On Evolve, we deal 1 damage to all enemy followers. So we're going to be able to, like, blow up a board that doesn't exist. This card that we add to our hand, I'm imagining we're going to be discarding it. It can, like, stop our opponent, but increasing the cost of all cards in their hand by 1. So we can stave off, like, a Roach Lethal, maybe. I don't know really what this stops. It can stop, like, some of the floodgates that might affect us. And then also we can destroy all damaged enemy followers. We are Face Dragon. I'm hoping that we don't need to use it, but it is like a little bit of flexibility. And if we don't need this card, we just discard it for 2 face damage. Simple as. Call of the Megalo-Orca. I think I put this in as a joke. I guess it's not that bad. We summon, it's a 2 mana Dragoncraft spell, but we summon the Majestic Megalo-Orca, which is a 2 mana 2/2 rush. Hey, cards, 2 mana 2/2s are broken in this game, especially if you tick up going first. And you know what? If we're an overflow, we get another one out of our deck. So basically, just summon as many Megalo-Orcas as you want, deck thin. Seems good. I mean, it's a 2/2 rush, right? We're able to remove something if we need to. Kill a Bellringer. Boom. Hit him with the Otohime. Simple as. I'm playing 2 Grimnir Heavenly Gales. It's just a normal static card. 3 mana, 2/3. We can buff it up. And then with the crest, you know, maybe we're able to blow up our opponent's board, because often the way that the deck plays is we're going to be like super evolving a card hitting face. Our super evolves aren't used defensively, so maybe, you know, this Grimnir is going to be able to help us. Little anti-aggro. You know what else is also anti-aggro? Ramping, but if we get to overflow, we get a couple extra things. If we can get down Forte a turn earlier, that's also good. Ramping will pay its dividends throughout the turns. Do we need it? I'm not 100% certain. The Fledgling Dragon Slayer, 4 mana, 2/2. We kill anything without needing to... Like, right, we just kill something. It's broken. It's actually just good. Lu Fang, Golden Note Ward. I mean, this is the card that ramps us. If we're an overflow, we get to ramp for free. Helps us get our mana up faster. Doubles as removal. This card's insane. I think you're going to be seeing this card in every Dragon list forever, to be honest. This card's, like, super overtuned. I have, in this deck, I'm not sure if it's right. I'm going to try out the Kit Luxfang Champ. I know I've seen some people with this. Whenever it's discarded, give a random allied follower in the field +1. Obviously, you discard it with the Otohime's Fan, and then suddenly you get 3 damage instead. And then, like, think about that. Boom, you discard it. You got these on board. It's like turn 6. You Super Evo. That's like 9 damage. That's 9 damage for 6 mana. Crazy combos. Delete your opponent. Forte. Storm Intimidate. 5/2. We hit our opponent, they die. Simple as. And then we got the Shark to, like, bypass wards. Is this a good deck? I'm not sure. Will it win? Probably. Game is really that easy. Next up, one of the most expensive classes, but I've been loving Abyss. I've been loving Abyss so much on ladder. And I think some of the new cards were, like, really bad. But I also retuned my brain and realized that maybe I was thinking about it wrong. So let's go into the card by card and talk about one of my favorite classes. So Reaper's Death Slash. Obviously, we kill something on our board, kill something on the opponent's board. 1 mana, we get to kill anything. Hey, what's not to like about that? Also combos well with Super Evolve. Phil Dow, 2 mana, 2/2. Is his Evolve good? No, not that good. But normal stats and a card. It's going to be important with something else in our deck. We'll see later. Devious Lesser Mummy. This is the card that we Super Evolve with Olivia. Simple as. Necromancy 4, we give it Storm. Able to hit our opponent. Normal stats in the early game. We cut a lot of the other cards because they don't work well with something else in our deck. We've got the Soul Predation, which is the kill a card on our board, draw 2. Gives us a little bit of draw power. Helps up the consistency of our deck. Triple Rage of the Serpents. 3-face, 2-face to us. It helps us, like, deal large amounts of damage in the mid game to late game. Close out the game through wards. Ghastly Soiree. This is the new card. 2 mana, add a Ghost, Skeleton, and Rotting Zombie to your hand. So you can fill your hand with shit, is basically what this does. But that shit's pretty good. Big ones are Skeleton, 0 mana card, obviously. 0 mana, 1/1. You hold this so you can combo it with the Soul Predation, or, like, maybe Super Evolve it with the Olivia to then also be able, like, basically the Soul Predation is the ultimate thing, right? The 2 mana, kill something on the board, draw 2. If you Olivia, you want to be able to Super Evolve something else, but if it's turn 7 exactly, it's like you don't really have a target to Super Evolve. So how do you weave in the Soul Predation? Boom, Skeleton fixes the issue. You get a 4/4, you get the 7/7, and then you also get to draw 2. Plus the draw 2 initially. So you get a lot of draw. The Ghost has dual use to be combo with both Cerberus and the Mukan, or whatever his name is. And then the Rotting Zombie is our new token. It is a 3 mana 2/2. Last word, summon a Rotting Zombie and remove last words from it. What is important about this is it's sticky. That is right. It is a card that comes down. It's on the board. Your opponent kills it. Boom, it's still on the board. And guess what? Cerberus is coming down next turn, so they better have the second form of removal. And the way that it works is it's quite annoying. Because, like, if you have, like, an AoE the board, right? If you had, like, a bunch of 2/2s, they would all die. This thing, AoE the board, guess what? Your guy's still there. So it plays around the William card, which I already thought was kind of mid. Definitely the Ghostly Soiree. I'm kind of in on it. I kind of like it a little bit. We got Vuella the Blastwing. This is a new card. 3 mana, 2/4. Rush whenever another allied follower Super Evolves, give it and this follower +2/+0. We have 3 of this. Is it good? I mean, like, if we go for, like, an aggressive mummy, and there is, like, a there's, like, a crazy turn we can have with this, as long as this is our reanimate target. Problem is that we don't get to choose what we reanimate if we put down the zombie. Maybe I feel like we're fighting our own deck at some points. I'll talk about that later, because there's going to be a combo with this that I'll come back to. The Shadow Crypt Memorial, obviously, best card to go with Cerberus. Also doubles removal. And we're playing 3 Mukan, the Shadow Crypt Ward. This guy was a 1 of before, but now we're upping him to a 4 of because we have the cards that goes to our hands. And then, you know, that's just good, right? Because Mukan says, Fanfare, Necromancy 8, we get to evolve him for free. So he deletes our shadows, but we get a 5/5 that also says on evolve summon a ghost. And he says whenever an allied departed follower enters the field, give it Bane. So now we have multiple ghosts from the 2-mana spell. A lot of extra removal in the early game. And then her one of is this Excella Nocturnal General. This card might be a stretch, okay? It can maybe kill our opponent. 4 mana, 1/3. Give this follower +X+0, where X is the number of other allied followers on the field, and deal 2 damage to your leader. If you have 4 guys, this is a 5/3 storm. That's kind of cool, I guess. I mean, you got to have the full board. Can't really weave much else in on the turn, right? He costs 4. But you have a couple Shadow Crypts on the board. He could kill your opponent. They're also never going to expect it. He kind of sucks. It's kind of hard to play around like a card like this, where it's like, oh man, if my opponent just like, you know, has the Shadow Crypt, pops the Mummy, plays this. It's like, right, you can start getting some crazy damage in out of nowhere. And then also the Ghost from the hand from the Ghastly Array. So it's like, yeah, you can have some pretty big turns. And then this guys can come in and close the game. I honestly wonder if you should go like full aggro, but I wanted to play some of the more control cards, play some of the new cards, right? We have Aragave, the Eternal Hunter. Card's good. It hits 2 things for 7, or as many things as you need to. He cleans up the board on 5, and then if we need to, we can aggressively evolve him to deal 3 damage to both leaders, helping get our opponent to the kill range. Obviously, we took out the Saris. The Saris was not very good, honestly. It was like very awkward to weave into turns. The idea with the Olivia is that on some turn that you're never going to hit, you would be able to give like ward. Cerberus is just better healing, and honestly, we also removed the guy who like hurt us to draw, because that card was horrendously bad. I have no idea why he hurt us for so much. In this deck, the only thing that's really hurting us is our Aragave, which is a choice. New card is we also have Sharon, Stygian Oarswoman. 5 mana, 4/4. Fanfare, reanimate 2 and 1. So if Aragave isn't the play, because our opponent doesn't really have anything on the board, we're going to be putting this thing down and getting 3 bodies. The reanimate 1 doesn't really have a target unless you've already played Cerberus. So it's going to be reanimating a skeleton instead, because it can reanimate 0. It's 1 or lower. And whenever an allied departed follower enters the field, give it ward. So Mr. Skeletal will get ward. And then the 2, I mean, like, I don't think the other cards, the departed is only the tokens. And on Super Evolve, we gain the Crest, which is countdown 2 at the start of your turn, reanimate 3. The start of your turn. So for 2 turns, you'll get a 3-drop onto your board. So the idea is, and this is going to eat your Super Evos pretty quickly, right? You're going to be able to Charon. I honestly hate that this puts the Rotting Zombie into our hand. You're going to be able to... it's literally rotting in our hand, by the way. Charon, Super Evo. Okay. And then the next turn, the Vuela is going to get pooped out. Now we're going to be able to follow up with the Olivia. And the Olivia is going to be able to Super Evolve the Mummy. And then the Vuela is going to buff the Olivia to a 9/7. And is going to gain 4 because it's going to trigger twice. So we're going to get a 6-attack rush and the 9/4 to be able to clear 2 wards. And then the Mummy's going to get in for 7. That's the idea behind the Charon. And then obviously, like, tempoing this on an empty board, if we can just get Mummies or like random 2/2s and 1/1s, like, hopefully that's good enough. Not 100% certain on it. This card, honestly, I wish the reanimate targets were a little bit better and didn't need us to, like, Super Evo into Super Evo. That's a little awkward, isn't it? New card, Undead Soldier. Fanfare, summon 2 copies of Rotting Zombie. So this is a 6 mana 3/3 that puts 2 2/2s on your board to be able to hopefully get some crazy Cerberus push with. That's the idea. This card, honestly, kind of shit. But the sticky board into a Cerberus can just win the game. So, you know, we're going to try him out. We're going to try him out. If he's bad, we take him out. This is why the day 1 decks, you know what? What's a couple games on ladder? We can lose a couple, right? Metas always change. Olivia, we're playing 3 for draw, and then Cerberus is... Have people realized yet that Cerberus is, like, low-key fucked up? Cerberus is better than Orcus. Maybe I wouldn't go that far. Cerberus is pretty damn close to Orcus in power. This is like pound for pound, like the only thing keeping this class alive. But yeah, definitely an expensive class. One that I really love to play. So probably going to be seeing that like minute one. Next up is we have Haven, and this deck is expensive. That's more than Abyss. Is that the most expensive deck that we made? I think it is. You know what though? This ain't the budget deck video. The budget deck video is going to be a different one. This is full power. We are playing Ward Haven, which is really messed up. We got a lot of powerful cards, and they're all in the legendary slot. So, first up, Serene Sanctuary. This is our draw engine early. I mean, it's a 1-drop. It's our only 1-drop in the deck. You know what? We're keeping it. We're playing the Bell Ringer Angel for the ward and the draw. Obviously, good card in our control deck. New card, Sharetta Angelic Maid. This card, it's normal stats and has ward. But also, if we have Super Evos, it's a 2/5 for absolutely no reason, and it's a ward. So, it goes in our ward deck. I'm playing triple Manu because it smacks our opponent with the aura. And whenever we engage an amulet, we get +1/+0. And we're still on the triple Dark Haven Grace. Because do we need 3 of it? No. Is it good? Yeah, it's pretty good, right? Being able to buff cards, give us infinite heal, fatigue our opponent. New card, not new, but card that I have personally liked, even though it sucked, and might still suck, I'm hoping it doesn't, is Sarissa, the Luxpear Almirage, 2 mana, 2/2. Whenever an allied follower with ward is destroyed, give this follower +1/+1. Basically infinite scaling. You put down a bunch of wards, this thing's on the board. If your opponent doesn't have like AoE, and they're like hidden through the wards, this thing is suddenly boom, 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 it's getting big, and then becomes, hopefully, gets out of control. And on evolve, we get Barrier. Probably not evolving this, to be honest. Barrier seems to suck in this game because everything has Bane or Destruction. And so if they're getting to it, it's dying. The last card in the deck was the Pact of the Beast Princess. I think this card is okay. The Holy Flame Tiger. I don't like that it takes like an extra turn and 3 mana to get the rush. And then like eats up a slot on our board. We're playing triple Grimnir, Heavenly Gale. Obviously, we've talked about him a lot. The crest is very powerful because we're going to be super evolving, blowing up the board, and then it also just has ward, so it scales really well into the late game. Holy Shield Maiden, this card might be a meme. It has ward and barrier, so it's kind of broken. It protects itself. And honestly, we have like a card that shits out a bunch of cards from our deck. So this thing gets like put on the board for free, and that's just really sticky. And then it gets extra health and extra attack. And then we can keep buffing it if it lives, thanks to the Darkhaven Grace, which I guess we're only going to have 1 on our board. Maybe we want to cut this down to a 2 of. Not 100% certain yet. Like I said, day 1 deck thing. Next up is Salifa. Obviously, heal, removal, big ward. Good card. Little bit exploitable, especially with some of the new cards. But all in all, decent card. And then we have Wilbert, the new card, Desolate Paladin. He came out a while ago. I didn't really do a video on him, but that's because we're going to do the set review tonight. 6 mana, 4/6 ward, and then last word, summon 2 Holy Cavaliers. Holy Cavaliers should be 1/2 wards for 1. Look at that. Yep, look at that. Just like in digital. This is digital. Just like in Shadowverse 1. And then on Evolve, we gain Crest, Wilbert, Desolate Paladin. Not Super Evolve, that's right. Just Evolve, so that means if we're going first, we can do this on turn 6. And whenever an allied follower with Ward enters the field, give it +1/+2. So if a card enters the board, +1/+2. Shield Maiden, suddenly a 3/3 with Barrier. 1 Olivia. You can cut this card. Not needed. You know what is needed, though? Boom. Aether. Empyrean Guardian. 7 mana, 2/4. Fanfare. Summon 3 randomly different named followers that cost 3 or less play points from your deck. That's right. This card also has ward. This card has ward, so it's actually a 3/5, 3/6. And it's summoning 3 things from your deck. And then on Super Evolve, give all other allied followers in your field +0/+2 and Aura. You could give Sarissa Aura. If this thing hits like Sarissa and like 2 wards, so you have 3 wards on board, boom, make the Sarissa huge. That could be a game closer. The Super Evolve is pretty big. Not really 100% necessary, but if you do Super Evolve and you have the Grimnir before, guess what? AoE the board for 2. Seems pretty good. Definitely a huge push. 2 Sacred Griffins. This is like just a closer. Whenever you engage an amulet, give this follower Storm. Turn 9 onward. Honestly, this thing could be like a 1-of. But maybe this is the push we need at the end of the game. And then 3 Jean Saintly Knights. Since we do have the Aether and all of the other things, you know, the big AoE and the buffing is going to be a lot more real this set. Surely they're not going to be able to blow up like multiple turns of Aether, especially if we give the cards the extra health and the aura. Surely that sticks against something, right? I mean, maybe the barrier. The barrier is pretty good, right? Even the barrier boards get cleaned by William. Maybe we need William and Rune. Speaking of Rune, here's the worst Rune deck you've ever seen. Kind of. Maybe we do need William. I'm wondering if we need William. The Aether's really fucked up, isn't it? Well, it's Declimb, like before, but I wanted to put in the new cards. So, Declimb historically was one of the most expensive. Good thing the new cards are all doggy doo-doo. So, yeah, I mean, this is the deck. You've seen it 100 times. We're playing Insight. We're playing Stormy Blast. Sorry, Foresight, not Insight. There we go. 3 Witch's Brew. Because it draws, and it also gives us the stacks to be able to use the Sage Light's teachings to be able to blow up the board defensively. But I am going the meme approach, and I don't know what to put in for the Earth Sigil generators. So I'll talk about the meme approach in a second. Because, I mean, I guess everyone... I'm not going to bore people. Everyone's played Declimb, right? Melvia Adoring Witch. 2 mana, 2/2. Fanfare. Add a Witch's New Brew. So that's the 1 mana amulet that draws a card to our hand. And if there's a super evolved allied follower on the field, gain 2 Earth Sigils. There's just 3 Earth Sigils for 3 mana. Why is that important? Because we have Pascal's Dance that we're going to be using throughout the game. It's normal D-Shift, which I think we always had excess spell boost. If you really played the deck, it always felt like you had excess spell boost. And we gain an Earth Sigil and gain Crest, Pascal's Dance. So you have Countdown 1 at the end of your turn, draw a card, and Earthright 10. Double the attack and defense of all allied followers on the field. You know, I've said it a couple times. The big thing with Earthright, the big thing with... Not Earthright. The big thing with Rune was that you either OTK'd or you vomited a board out that was so big your opponent couldn't answer it. The problem with Rune is that the Kuon only threatens 5. You can struggle to stick damage early even with the Anangrea because the way that the... okay. So I'm like a Rune hater because I've played a lot of Rune. And I think there's a lot of exploitable things about it, right? Anangrea is a house of a card. But if your opponent has cards like Fildau or any of the removal, if they can target down your Anangrea, guess what? This card goes away. So there's only 1 card to remove on this. So the killing a card is always easy. If you double super evolve your Kuons for removal or like whatever the thing is, you suddenly lose access to the Declimb Cocytus play unless you have multiple Declimbs or your opponent's below 10 health. There's like a lot of things like control decks can grind you out in like weird, I guess aggro-y control decks can like grind you out in weird ways. Maybe we do need the William though because this deck's messed up. But in my mind, the Pascal's Dance is we can vomit out a huge board. Like, I don't know how hard it is to get the 10 Earth Sigils. That's the problem. I want to, like, play around with it. They printed the card. I mean, it might be awful. A lot of people are going to tell you it's awful. I'm going to tell you I want to try to play it. I want to see this card succeed. And so I'm willing to go back down to Topaz if that's what it takes. But in my mind, we're going to be able to set up, like, a board with the Flame Destroyers, like normal. But if we back it with the Pascal's Dance, suddenly it's not, like... 1 or 2 points of like, you know, like if we can like bop easy removal, there's a bunch of cards with suddenly like 12 health, right? And that's the idea, is that we're able to actually pressure our opponent to where the extra 5 from the Kuon could be the lethal that seals the deal. right? Just the threat of like all of these big 16, 16, 6/6s. Everything on our board is huge from the Pascal's Dance, and we do it for like really low mana amounts, right? That's the idea. Is it a meme? Yes, 100%. But I would like to see it and see if like maybe we can do something with it. And then honestly, hopefully we can take the Cocytus out of the deck. I don't like the Cocytus in the deck. I think it's a little meme. I think it makes the deck really slow. I feel like it makes you want to hold the dimension climbs. Like I would like to get Rune away from the turn 10, turn 11 OTKs and maybe get it into like a more board-based like centric thing without having to play the Earthray. The Earthray heads are pretty bad, to be honest. But yeah, so this is my day one, no budget decks. I mean, I've got 60,000 vials. I don't know how many other people have. I'm going to make a really budget version. I do want to see the starter decks, though, before I do that. So, yeah, hope you guys all have fun. I think the patch launches, it's 2:30 now. I spent 50 minutes making this video. By the time this is up and you're watching it, guess what? The game should be up, and you should be able to, like, take one of these decks, because they will be in the description. And guess what else is there? Right before the description. That's right. The like button. Please hit that. Hit that subscribe button. I want to hit 1K. I want to hit 1K because that's a huge milestone. Been there before. Trying to get back. And until next time, this is your boy Dean signing out.